Community TV6 coverage of the Sarnia Ranson Bees hockey games is being made possible through funding by Ranson Industrial and Safety Supply Limited, 1166 Michener Road, Sarnia.
Todd Begin, the big star this season for the Stars. They've had a number of changes. A lot of veteran faces out of the lineup for the Stars tonight here at the Sarnia Arena. And we said they're struggling. Here comes Schelling, one-on-one, shoots. Oh, and just getting a piece of it was Ryder. Schelling in alone as the Star defense totally collapsed. Calpine whistles the play dead as number 5, Claude Begin, holds on.
Well, there's a good shot of Claude Begin, and you hit it right on the head, Fab, when you said that you look down the St. Thomas lineup, excuse me, and a lot of the veteran players not there this year. They either just cut for whatever reason or moved on to other teams. As you take a look at the two goaltenders, that's Ryder on your left, Brett Walling on the right. In fact, Brett Walling, for a rookie, has played very, very well in Junior B hockey this year.
Has really filled in well since Rob Campbell departed the team a year ago, going over age. There's a shot right off the draw that goes wide of the goal. And they expect big things from Mr. Walling to give them a number 1 and 2 punch and goal for the Bees. They've been absolutely dynamite, the two goaltenders for the Bees, along with the young defense. Cummings now. Coleman had to hold up at the line as the play, or pass, I should say, was a little late in coming. Dixon has to retreat back in behind his own blue line. Through the middle now, bouncing puck. Rafoul with a head of steam goes to the board, centers it, and getting a stick on it in time was the captain, number 6, Rod Tales. Bees still have possession in the slot again. There's a shot, they score! Cummings from in front of the goal. Puts it in for Sarnia's first score of the evening.
Well, that was kind of a funny play, kind of a tricky bounce, and Ryder misplayed it, and it's 1-0. In fact, the Bees just keep rolling, 1-0.
The offensive machine keeps chugging along. Next time off the stick of Cummings.
There's Ryder, as you can see, getting a few words of encouragement by his mates. Certainly he should have played it, but something happened there. There's your score.
Cummings' 9th goal of the season, and it wasn't that hard of a shot, but perfectly placed as Ryder pulled away from the post. He picked the short side, but good hustle from the Sarnia forwards to dig that puck loose and send it out in front. So the Stars struggling. They're looking to change their woeful ways around here at the Sarnia Arena tonight. Quickly find themselves down by a goal. Behind his own net, Murray Byers puts on the brakes as he holds up behind the net. Doesn't like the way he went to the left as the Bee players scattered in front of him. He'll go behind and try it again. He'll set it up this time. Byers through the middle now, bouncing puck for Coleman. He couldn't pick it up off his skate. Over for Dustin Bellew. His pass is blocked. They battle for it along the boards. Finally, it comes loose for Cummings. Cummings with the 13-minute mark. Shoots right on. Weak shot. Coleman for the rebound, and he's checked. And it looks like we're going to have penalties, Doug.
Yes, we are. Jeff Cummings, and I believe it's going to be number 4, Chitteroni, I believe, is the call for St. Thomas. Yep. There's Cummings on your left, Chitteroni coming into your screen right now. And they'll sit out the next 2 minutes.
As they got tangled up with one another in front of Dan Ryder, the St. Thomas Star goaltender. And McAlpine not allowing things to get out of hand early. Whistling over to the penalty box. There's a long shot fired off the end boards. Prudhomme in for the Bees. He was guarded from behind. Here comes Prudhomme again. Takes a look, centers it, and Dan Gardner. Excuse me, that was Mike Reeve. Just failing to convert. Reeve again at center for Gardner. Reeve gets it back again. Prudhomme had to stretch for that pass. He couldn't hold on to it, and Olford for the Stars takes control. People had it bounce off the shaft of his stick. Behind the net, centers it, but Schelling was there for the Bees. Schelling. Wily veteran comes to center. Off the blade of the stick of Mike Reeve, it slides to Ryder, who will hold on with 12:03 remaining in the first, a 1-0 Sarnia lead.
And Dan Ryder, there's your score. Sarnia Bees 1, and the St. Thomas Stars nothing on your Ranson Industrial and Safety Supply. Ranson Bees game of the week. Those two penalties, Cummings and Chitteroni for high sticking at 7:09. And we have 12:03 left in this opening period. There's a good shot right there of New Jersey native Rich Schelling. What a find he's been.
Certainly has been the stabilizing force on this young defense. Vince takes a hard hit from number 18, Dave Henry. Puck at the Sarnia blue line. Gardner couldn't skate away with it. Puck is loose at center. Jeff Vince, 16-year-old rookie defenseman for the Bees. Play has improved steadily as the season's progressed. Schelling tried to dipsy-doodle around number 5, Claude Begin. Couldn't do so. Gary Simons, the red-hot Gary Simons. Nice pass over to Adams. Back to Simons and broken up by Hauser. Hauser now for the Stars. Third-year player moves it up ahead for Henry. Henry centers it, and breaking it up was Don Dixon. Gary Adams, the Bees' third leading goal scorer. Point getter, I should say. Very surprisingly, silently, he's a Horan, shoots! Nice save by Ryder as he came out. Henry. Simons stripped him of the puck. Hauser now for the Stars. 3-on-2. Hauser for Henry. Henry has Luke with him. Luke Harvey in front of the goal. They couldn't get him to pass. Simons off the skate of Rand. Puck comes out over the line, but offside with 18. Dave Henry trapped.
Well, a good shot right there of one of the St. Thomas veterans, Fab, Luke Harvey, as he goes off to the bench on a line change. And, of course, one of the big players not here for St. Thomas this year, as we look at the bench, and Skip Cummings, is the absence of Dennis Aber, who's just stabilized that defense, and he's no longer in this team.
No longer with the team. Andrew Dockstetter no longer with the team. Andrew finished last season with the London Knights of the Junior A League, and the Stars still having a working relationship with the London Knights.
And you saw Skip Cummings too, Fab. There's another change about, I don't know what, 10 or 12 games into the season. Skip came down from upstairs and has taken over the team, and he can't seem to motivate them either.
No, it just seems to be a lackluster. They're not as offensively equipped as they were a year ago with the Horvats and Coots and Hebert, of course. As we mentioned, they're trying to close the gap between themselves and St. Mary's for that last and final playoff spot. Here's a chance, a shot right on. Walling to save is number 12, Jeremy Brooks. Stole a puck in a deep slot. Let it go, but Walling able to cover up.
And a good shot there, Britt Walling, 5'9", 165-pounder. Makes his hometown, Fab, of course, in Leamington, where he played his junior C hockey last season. There's a good shot of him right there. And a rather unorthodox, I guess we want to call a right-handed catcher unorthodox. You don't see too many of those anymore.
Not very many at all.
And the face-off comes to his right.
Speaking of Leamington, the Sarnia Bees have 4 former Leamington Junior C players in the lineup. We'll let you know who they are as we get a chance throughout the evening. Along the boards now, Olford keeps it in, dumps it in behind the Sarnia goal. Sean Jackson out for the Bees now, and man for Dan Gardner. Making his first appearance of the evening, Mike Cayley, wearing number 19. You can pick him out with the dark helmet. Up from the Clearwater Steeplejacks of the Junior C Hockey League. Gardner now for Jackson. Jackson being guarded by Jeremy Brooks. Holford tried to strip the puck from Jackson. He gets it back again at center. A little miscommunication between the Stars at the neutral zone. They lift a high one right on to Walling. He gloves it, leaves it for Loosemore. Loosemore for the Bees now. He's checked at the line, comes squirting loose through the middle of the ice. Kelly can't come up with it, and Dustin Bellew for the Stars. Cross for their captain, Ron Tales. Kelly backhands it back deep into the zone, and it's cleared right back out again. We have passed the halfway point of the first period. Sarnia with a goal from Cummings lead it 1-0.
In fact, the fast pace continues, as you can tell on your screen. Both teams making changes while the play goes on. Very few whistles in this first period.
Compared to the game we experienced Tuesday night, yes, it's nice to see. Off the end boards, Schelling picks it up. He'll hopefully get the Bees going now. The pass hits Ruffalo in the back of the skate. Schelling continues on, though. Coleman now with the duck, shoots it right on, right of the save. Big rebound, but it was corralled nicely by number 4, Mike Ciccaroni. Falling out of his net to play it. One hands it up for Rafool. Puck is in behind Coleman. And Doug Coleman in the lineup tonight with a rescinding of his suspension.
That's right.
Puck along the boards for Jeff Vince. Vince moves it up slowly, takes a look, dumps it into the corner. Going after it, Coleman, a little half-heartedly, was taken out of the play. Trying to clear it in front, loose puck, they bang away at it, Rafool shoots, and he couldn't get it up high enough, and Ryder made the save. Cummings now, back to the point, Schelling across, over for Vince. He had no time to shoot, puts it off the end boards. Rafool centers it, Coleman knocked down from behind. Walsh, play continues on, and the Stars get it out of their zone. Bees get it right back in again. Number 4, Ciccaroni for Hauser. Hauser, third-year player, will try to get the Stars moving forward now. Luke Harvey for Tipo, back to Harvey. Quick shot right on the save by Walling. His first difficult stop of the evening. Nice give-and-go play executed by the Stars. Luke Harvey now turns around at center. Takes a bump from Loosemore. Prudhomme now streaking down the ice. Has a man open, Reeve, and he tried to feed it over to him, but broken up nicely by Ron Tales. Luke Harvey now across the center ice line. Over for number 22, that was Bruno Latanzano. At the point, held in by Big Ed. Pitcher. Now for Reeve. Reeve, only 9 points on the season. There's a shot, it just hit the outside part of the post. Ryder was beat. Harvey now on a long shift. Takes a look, dumps it in, goes in after the puck into the corner. Bodies pitcher up against the glass. Around for Prudhomme. He had to play it off his skate. Captain for Dixon. Can't get it out over the blue line. That was Jeremy Brooks being bodied off the puck, and it gives a chance for Gardner to lift it high and down the ice.
And Fab, again, the fast play continues on. Very few whistles. It's excellent, great hockey so far. 1-0 in favor of the Ranson Bees.
There's been a few bumps along the way, but really nothing of the vicious type or hard-hitting type. They've taken their man, but been very obliging and not running them too hard. That time we get a stoppage of play as Kales lifts a high one over the glass and a play.
And you talked about the lacklusterness of St. Thomas. I think that indicates why the infrequency whistles, I should say. They're not really the hard hits like we've seen them do in the past. They just kind of taking their man out. There's the game of the week on Community TV6 as the face-off comes to the left of goaltender Ryder. They don't seem to finish off their checks. They just take the man out and skate back. So we'll see if that changes as the game goes on.
Yes, they've come out here in the first period and played a very conservative style of hockey, not forechecking a great deal and trying to get everyone back into position. Obviously, their problem is on the bench. There's a centering pass over for number 16, Sean Muscat. He's tripped up as he piled up into the boards. Gets up rather slowly, but the Bees are going to be penalized, and that's number 7, Murray Byers, making his way to the penalty box.
So we'll see how St. Thomas power play looks as you take a look at number 16, Sean Muscat, and there's Murray Byers going to the penalty box. So slashing is the call.
In addition to Murray Byers, Doug, certainly helps the Bees defense, especially with a couple of weekend games.
Definitely.
And being short-staffed with Dobanovich out, and of course, Matt Stone sitting out, Gary Cater nursing a sore hand, Randy Campbell, so fits in rather nicely. Hauser at the point, blasts one, and falling to save as he stuck out the left pad, and he kicked out that low drive. Hauser, one of the top guns for the Stars this season. Here comes Dustin Bellew, crossover for Jeremy Brooks. Brooks across the line, makes the pass, and no one was there, so the Bees get a chance to clear, and they do down the ice. Ryder off the boards for Hauser. Bellew holds up at the line, takes a look. Pass over to Hauser. He has to come back as he would have put himself offside. They dump it in off the boards. It's rifled hard down through the middle, and here's a loose puck for Ryder to contend with.
And notice, Fab, how both goaltenders handle that puck fairly well. Off the boards, good stick handlers.
They like to come out and play the puck. Both teams making changes now as the play continues. Backhand pass for Teeple off his stick. Hauser regains possession, but it was knocked to him with a glove, so McAlpine holds play up.
Well, we've played 16 minutes and 5 seconds in this first period. The only goal off the stick of Jeff Cummings is 9th from Byers and Coleman at 6:11. Shots on goal to this point, 6-4 in favor of the Bees, so it's fairly close as the faceoff will just be to the right of the center red line as you take a look at number 19 out there, Trevor Walsh for St. Thomas, and Cummings for the Bees.
Cummings, an Alveston native, couldn't win the draw. Teeple strips him of the puck. Teeple now across the Sarnia line. He's got some speed. He had to pull up. Gets it back to the point for Hauser, and again we're going to have penalties as a shot stopped by Walling.
1 or 2, I'm not sure, Fab. Walsh, I think, is being fingered here, and he might be the only one. Yep, looks like it.
As 19, Trevor Walsh heads to the penalty box. TV6 Sports bringing you this game from the Sarnia Arena between the St. Thomas Stars and the Sarnia Ranson Bees. Bees in first place with a 34-point total. And the Stars at the opposite end with 6.
Oh, we've commented from time to time, very uncharacteristic of a St. Thomas or a St. Mary's team to be that low in the standings.
Yes. Complete reversal of what happened a year ago. That's number 8, Shannon Nadeau. His winger wasn't there, so he retrieves his own pass. Nadeau across the Sarnia blue line. There's a shot, and it's ripped wide off the stick of Mike Citaroni. Teeple into the corner now. The Stars have it with Olford into the corner. He took the hit, continues on, loose puck. Oh, and what a save by Walling. He stuck his glove out there and completely robbed number 8, Shannon Nadeau, of a goal.
Boy, he sure did, as Nadeau was standing right to the right of Walling, and he stuck the big right hand. What a save. He stuck right out of thin air. There's a good shot. Wait, let's pick out the replay now. Watch how quick Walling's hand, right here.
Right. Oh, amazing.
He had that corner picked.
He was down. His only chance was to get the glove over. He did, and Nadeau just shook his head as he skated away from the play.
Great reaction as Nadeau stick and Walling's glove right at the same time. Beautiful.
You might not see a prettier save for the rest of the season.
And Nadeau is still shaking his head after that.
He took his time. He looked. He had the opening. He fired a hard one, but Walling, anticipating the shot, got the glove out in time and keep the score at 1-0.
That was a shorthanded opportunity too. I might add, the Bees on a power play now.
And here come the Stars with Luke Harvey. Dumping it into the corner, walling out the plate. His confidence has got to be boosted after that tremendous save. Gives it to Schelling. Adams now across the Star line. Holding on to it ever so slowly. He'll try to work it with Gardner now. And he tried to give it to the slick little centerman as he's the captain on this power play. He's telling somebody to move around out there. No one moving. Everyone's standing still. Prudhomme waiting for a pass back at the point. Schelling gets it. And a bad pass picked off by Citaroni, and he gets a chance to clear. Harvey skating after it, checked by Prudhomme, and it's picked up by Coleman now, the league's leading scorer. Adams. Coleman has it. Has to wait for Luke Harvey to play it along the boards as McAlpine tells him to move it. And finally the Stars cleared, and down the ice it goes. Trevor Walsh goes after it. Shoots, scores! Short-handed goal.
Well, we talked about many times, Fab, a goal near the end of a period. We were down to a minute 33, and a good play as Walsh came out of the box just as the penalty ended and put that puck in the net to tie the game up. But a pretty play.
It was a pretty play as Walsh had to come over from the opposite side of the ice to pick up that loose puck. And a rather lackadaisical effort at the Bees blue line, and Schelling was tied up and couldn't get the puck in deep. Came squirting loose, and Walsh went in alone.
So Walsh from Henry at 18:27. Walsh coming out of the penalty box and take that pass from Henry and made no mistake.
So we're knotted at one. The puck comes back to Hauser. His quick shot deflected, and it went across the goal. Again,
nice, Dick. Good call.
Yes, it was a good call, as it definitely was over the crossbar.
Well, perhaps the Bees' next home game is Sunday. Of course, by the time this airs, the Bees will be playing that game. They play Sunday against the Micmacs. That's going to be a tough test. Always a tough game with those two teams.
Micmacs in second place, tied with the Stars. As you see, Paul helps, talking things over with his young players on the bench.
In fact, we talked about teams with troubles. Tillsonburg 0 for 19, 18 losses and a tie.
Must be very demoralizing for the players down and management for all that matters. In Tillsonburg, they have struggled since their inception in Junior B hockey, and it remains to be seen how long that franchise can survive. Shut off the boards down the ice. Byers picks it up, takes a look, no one available for a pass, so he slides it down the ice. Ryder has to play it. 33 seconds left in the period. Stars clear it to Walling. Schelling. Nice play to avoid the check from number 16, Sean Muscat. Off the boards to the blue line. Schelling rifles it right back in again. Ron Tales for the Stars, content with just clearing the zone. Less than 10 seconds left in the period. Hauser into the corner, takes a look, and that is going to do it for the first period as buzzer sounds. And a rather uneventful first period. Sarnia scored early. St. Thomas came back with a power play goal. Excuse me, a shorthanded goal, Doug, and that's where we stand.
That's right. Cummings scored, and then Walsh at the end of the period for a 1-1 hockey game. Shots on goal in that first period by St. Thomas 10 and by Sarnia 8. So the score at the end of the first period, the Sarnia Ranson Bees 1 and the St. Thomas Stars 1. And we'll have second period action after this brief timeout. Stay with us.
Community TV6 coverage of the Sarnia Ranson Bees hockey games is being made possible through funding by Ranson Industrial and Safety Supply Limited, 1166 Michener Road, Sarnia.
Choice brings you great holiday entertainment in...
TV6 coverage of the Sarnia Ranson Bees hockey games is being made possible through funding by Ranson Industrial and Safety Supply Limited, 1166 Michener Road, Sarnia.
All right, welcome back to the second period of play. We have just played 40 seconds of this second period. It's a 1-1 hockey game. Shots in that first period, 10 for St. Thomas and 8 for Sarnia. Now Sheldon trying to work it in behind his own end. And St. Thomas just dumps it into the blue line area. Bees trying to mount an attack, can't. Now Walsh. Back to Nando. Nando. There's a shot right out, and that'll bring a stoppage. A minute and 6 seconds gone in this second period. There's a good shot of Brett Walling, the Leamington native. And, of course, played last year with the Leamington Flyers at the Great Lakes Junior C. We had 4 minor penalties in that first period, 2 apiece. Now Dixon moving it up. Cayley shoots it only to the blue line. Dixon has it back again at center ice. Sarnia right back in again. Chasing it down, there's Tails. Off the boards, picking up now Harvey. Harvey up over the Bees line. A shot and a save there by Walling. Down to 18:23 now left in this second period. And Fab, who got caught in the shuffle. There you are.
Finally made it back. As we take it away now with Cayley being checked off the puck into the corner. The Stars try to scoop it loose. They do. Sends it around the boards for Tails. The captain now moves it through the middle for Luke Harvey. Harvey across, quick shot. Goes wide of the goal. Gets his rebound off the end boards. To the side of the net. Dixon shovels it into the corner. There's a hard hit by Sean Jackson on number 22, Les Tanzio. And the Bees clear it out into the neutral zone. Henry, nice move to get around his man. His shot is way wide of the goal, though. Cayley leaves it for Pitcher. Big defenseman. Takes a look, shoots it, but he shot it right at Tails. Here's a chance. The Bees are on a change. Jeremy Brooks, his shot, but a nice diving stop by Murray Byers to get in front of it. And they pile up into the corner and hold on for a face-off. But Doug, a nice play by Murray Byers as the Bees were caught on a bad line.
I was just going to say, the Bees almost got caught with too many men on the ice. And luckily, Murray Byers was there to save the day. The Ranson Industrial Supply, Ranson Bees Game of the Week. As you take a good look at their number 16, Sean Muscott for the St. Thomas Stars.
Off the draw, comes back to the point, shoveled back in by Chitaroni behind the net. Loosemore pokes it loose, but that was Dustin Bellew. Off the boards, comes right into the slot, but Byers beats his man to the puck and clears. Ian ran a hard shot right off the end boards in the corner, rings around to the opposite side. Puck is batted up high into the air. And the Stars get it out. Bees, as we mentioned, are in first place with a 17-3 mark. They're currently on a 10-game winning streak, the best by far this season, as we see Ryder way out of his net to pounce on a loose puck.
Hey, we talked about some of the changes in the St. Thomas Stars. We mentioned Granger not there, Bellerson, Vanderwerf, guys last year who were part of the St. Thomas Stars team, either cut or quit. There's some of them.
And it was a very formidable team. You know, the Stars were ahead of the Bees in the standings last season, in second place behind the St. Mary Lakers. The Bees were third place overall last year, but did eventually win the title. They didn't have that big of a rebuilding job, but with a coaching change and some new players in the lineup, they've stumbled early in the season and just haven't been able to turn it around. Henry now, that was Trevor Walsh, I should say, spun around at the line. Here's a chance for Mike Reeve. Reeve with Gardner, holds up, quick shot, scores!
And you notice that Mike Reeve, as you said, held up, and I think Ryder thought he was going to pass it across, and he stuck it right through the 5-hole,
yes.
And it's 2-1 Bees.
Surprised Dan Ryder with a quick shot after he put on the brakes, took a look across. Ryder possibly expecting a pass from Mike Reed, as you suggested, Doug, but the shot found the 5-hole, and it's a 2-1 Sarnia lead. For Mike, that's his 10th point of the season. You're expecting a little more offense from Mike, but a little slow in coming, but he's been working hard ever since. Here's Gardner just shooting at his stick, lifted, knocked down. Stars retreated now, come up to center. Pass off the stick of Gardner, goes into the corner. Going after it is Begin. Claude Begin has it. Puck is stolen. Gardner with Raful back. Prudhomme shot, and he ripped it high and wide.
What a magician he is, Bev.
Oh, smooth hockey player.
He sure is. I love watching that kid.
Caught Prudhomme coming in from the point with the corner of his eye and fed him a perfect drop pass. Raful now to Gardner. Pass over for Schelling. Gardner heads to the bench. Pass in the middle. Raful fell, but the pass was picked off by Olford. Olford poke check by Cummings. And Cummings becoming that much more of a defensive forward. And he showed it on that play. Here's Raful. Nice play. Scores! Sammy Raful with a beautiful goal on his beat. Gives Sarnia 3-1 lead.
And now the Bees are starting to find the range as they very quickly make it 3-1. That second Bees goal, Reeve, his 4th of the season for Byers at 4:01. And now Raful scores at 5:14 to make it 3-1, and a pretty goal. And again, it caught the 5-hole of Mr. Ryder. For Raful, Fab, his 11th goal of the season, so he has certainly been a find for the Bees.
He certainly has, Doug, coming from the Junior C Leamington team. He was disappointed in his goal production. He was saying earlier, about a week ago, but he has managed to get his defensive stats up, and he certainly contributed on the left wing. Here again, streaking over the line with a nice burst of speed, backhand shot right on Ryder to save. And Samuel Raful, after that goal, seems to be a man on a mission.
Yeah, so the official on that was Raful from Coleman at 5:14, and Coleman adds to his, at least the team leading stat, with his 40th point. That was his 19th assist of the season, and that'll put him, I believe, in second spot overall in the Western Junior B, behind Mr. Wimet from Strathroy.
Yes, I had earlier alluded to the fact that he was the league's leading scorer. In fact, that was wrong. Kerry Wimet had a tremendous evening, even in a losing cause, with 3 goals the other night at the Sarnia Arena to propel him into sole possession of first spot in the league goal scoring chase. But Rusty, capable of a big game here tonight. Still a lot of time left. Passing to the slot. Gardner backhands a high one, and it's called immediately by the official, McAlpine. Caught him red-handed.
So we're down to 14-10. The Bees 3. The St. Thomas Stars 1. If you take a look at referee Kevin McAlpine, they're going to bring the face-off outside. The Bees line as Sean Jackson.
And for the fans at home, Kevin McAlpine was not always
Oh, he
referee.
wasn't. That's right.
Started out as a linesman.
In fact, I noticed they moving Jackson, at least for this shift, up onto the left side. Now, whether that's, I first time I've noticed it or not, but so actually, in essence, he's got 3 defensemen out there.
They'd like to get Sean Jackson
Yep.
more involved in the offense. He's only got 10 points. He's a better skater. He's got a good shot. Just unable to connect. Puck now for Dustin Bellew over to Brooks. Brooks rips a shot, and again the cat-like glove of Brett Walling robs the Stars of another goal.
That's one per period so far. What a great save. There he is down on the seat of his pants, being congratulated there by Mike Cayley, who is, of course, up from, as you mentioned in the earlier stages, up from the Clearwater Steeplejacks. And what Cayley adds to this team, Fab, is a little bit of aggressiveness, a little bit of speed, not much offense, but he can be very deceptive out there to get that hold of that puck.
And Doug, you know, with a couple of saves like that from Britt Walling, it really picks your team up, because this game could very easily have been tied with those 2 outstanding saves not being produced by Britt. And there's another chance in front of the goals, but he gives his team a chance to stay in the lead. And an offside, there's a hit on Simons. The play was offside. He took a hit way up along the facial area, and I think he's going to head for the bench. Maybe not.
That's the best hit we've seen the Stars pull out tonight.
He's a little wobbly.
He is wobbly.
A little wobbly. They better get Gary Simons. They better get him quickly, because he is down. He took a tremendous hit.
Yes, he did.
They better quickly work on him. He is down.
He fell right at the center. Right, yep.
They're going to need some more help out there, I believe. The trainer is working on him extensively.
He was heading for the bench and decided to go back and just collapse right at center ice, on his side of center ice. There's a good shot at Gary right there, being attended to by Doug White, the trainer. A rather innocent check. I think what happened, the whistle had blown, and Gary had eased up, and Walsh, I think it was Walsh, just kept going and hit him.
Yes,
he is a bit wobbly. You can see
the shoulder of.
I believe it was Walsh. I think it was Walsh. I'm not sure about that. He's getting up.
He's going to pick up his headgear. And,
that's good to see, getting up and okay. That's good. Big ovation. And he's very quickly becoming, Fab, a fan favorite here.
But he is also.
Yes, he is.
Yes, 17 goals, 10 assists. He started in preseason. As we took a look at the Bees bench, he was on fire in the preseason.
Boy, was he ever, and he still is. Oh, yeah. 40-goal man in Junior C last year. And we hope that he isn't out very long.
As we mentioned, Simons, along with Walling, Loosemore, and Rapoul, all coming from the Leamington Junior C squad.
But yet Leamington, Fab, is still up doing the Great Lakes Junior C again this year.
Even after losing those 4 tremendous impact players.
Yep.
Off the boards in the corner. Stars cleared around. Hauser fires around. It's bouncing puck. Comes to Kerry Adams. Another shot. It's weak, and it's kicked out by Ryder as into the corner now. Cayley bodies Nadeau. Cayley in front. Had a chance to put it in, but couldn't convert. Ran in through the slot. Deflected. Nadeau now. Across the Sarnia blue line. Got by Loosemore. Puck is deflected. Back to the point. Hauser's quick shot. Big rebound. Nadeau fans on it.
Now things are picking up a little bit.
Nadeau hacks away at Kerry Adams. Knocks him down. People with the loose puck. People. Nice move, but staying with them was Murray Byers. He's on top of the puck, forced to play it by the official McAlpine. McAlpine not helping things.
I think Murray wanted a whistle there, but he didn't get it.
Intercepted by Olford. Adams looking for a whistle now as the Bees are disorganized deep in their own zone, and finally McAlpine does give them what they wanted about 30 seconds ago.
There you see Murray Byers. I thought Murray had the right idea. He had his glove over the puck. He couldn't get the whistle, and finally had to play it, and did eventually get that whistle with 11 minutes and 52 seconds left. There you see your score. The Sarnia Ranson Bees 3. The St. Thomas Stars 1. Our Ranson Bees game of the week. And maybe, Fab, the problem with this St. Thomas Stars team is they're not being physical enough. They're showing it this period now a little bit more.
Pass for Reeb. Along the boards, Dan Gardner hustling in after it. Gets a return pass. Gardner again into the corner. Fires it behind the net for Prudhomme. Prudhomme's through the slot. Again, gets it back again. Gardner shoots. Bouncing puck and Reeve couldn't get a stick on it, but the Bees came close again. All the way down the ice for Britt Walling. Leaves it to Jeff Wint. Knocked down. Nice pickoff in the middle of the air by number 18, Henry. He's regained possession and shoot it down the ice. Pass eludes everyone. Vince will have to hustle back after it. He's hauled down into the corner. Luke Harvey was all tied up. That gives Gardner a chance to skate away with it. Gardner, nice pass to Prudhomme, but it was a two-line pass, and it'll be called back.
Well, there's the team captain, Craig Prudhomme. Certainly a team choice for captain. 5'7", 170-pound Corunna native. Well, let's change gears here for a second. Your thoughts on the Yankees picking up Steve Sachs and possibility of the Jays getting Bruce Hurst. What are your thoughts on both of those, briefly?
Sachs is an impact player. He's really going to help solidify the Yankee infield. I like the acquisition. I just hope he can cope with the media and all the pressure in New York.
That's for sure. And Hurst certainly won't hurt Toronto if they can land him.
If they can land him. I just don't believe they're that serious. I don't believe they've ever been that serious to dish out that kind of money.
I agree. We'll see. It's interesting.
There's a shot wide by Cummings. Just remember Bill Cottle.
Yes.
That's what the J Brass is saying.
Exactly.
Rafool now at the blue line, had his stick up over his shoulder to knock down that pass. He tries to get things started with Hauser. He doesn't want any part of it. Hauser, no stranger to the tougher side of things.
There he is.
He just skates away.
Sorry, Fab, there he is right there. Wearing the big C on his uniform this year.
Doug, of course, question. Who was the captain of the Stars last season?
I was just going to mention that. Dennis Hebert, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe
Am I right?
Correct. I believe you're right. Number 11, Dennis Hebert.
Yes, he was. And he was a big boy. He was well over 6'3". I started to say that, Fab, the Jays are also going to be sporting new uniforms this year as they put them on display last week.
They're only a year behind. Cummings now rips his shot off a skate into the corner. Gets it back for Coleman. To the point. Dixon takes a look, shoots. They score! A fool is second of the night.
What a play by Dixon. And notice what, excuse me, Fab, what Dixon did. He didn't take the shot. He waited for Sammy to plant himself on the doorstep, and that's exactly what he did. And it's now 4-1 to the Bees, scoring 3 unanswered goals here. As we've just crossed the halfway mark, that goal coming at 10:29.
So Sam Rafool, the 5'11", 165-pound 18-year-old from Leamington, notches his second of the night, 12th of the season, and it's really extended Sarnia's lead to 4-1. And after looking at St. Thomas's record, it just might be a little too far for them to get back into this. Past the halfway point in the contest. Haley off the draw over for Jackson. Shoots, scores! No, he didn't.
Oh, he did. We thought he did from here. Oh, another. Jackson thought he did.
He can't believe it.
I think if he tucked it upstairs, he had a goal. He a little over anxious, I think, that time.
Yes. Got the backhand off a little too quick. Can you believe that?
I think, Fab, one more point we should make at the Jays. I guess the uniforms is to go with the new stadium, I believe. So I guess it is. It's only fitting, I suppose. But getting back to Jackson, I think he got robbed. Good save.
Yes, it was. Ryder came out and made a dandy save on that, but a little bit at fault was Jackson for if he would have held on to it a second longer and gotten across the crease, he would have had nothing but wide open net.
If he'd gone to the forehand, I think he would have had it, as we see. I believe, is that Teeple down there at the far end? There he is, just to the left of your screen, that'll be.
Yes, he's out of your sight as you see the official.
There he is right there. No, it's actually, I'm sorry, it's number 19, Walsh, who has the only St. Thomas goal. right, Fab, your thought, we have a break here. Your thoughts on the balance of the Western Junior B in this league. Did you, let's start with the top three teams. You have Sarnia, of course, Strathmore, Chatham. Did you figure they'd be up that high?
Well, I expected Sarnia to be at least in the top three. Chatham, after the performance a year ago, I didn't know how many players were returning. They are a surprise, bit of a surprise.
Yep.
But the team that really has surprised me is Windsor.
For sure.
They're hanging tough.
Yes, they are.
Strathroy, of course, they've got a good crop of returning veterans from a year ago. And, all right, tough team. And I think that they still are going to have to be reckoned with for the rest of the year.
And London isn't that far behind Windsor. They're only 3 points behind, and they're playing. I believe they're playing tonight. So it's going to be a scramble for a 4th, 5th, and 6th, I can assure you. And Walsh is still down.
He's gotten up to his knees with the trainer.
If I remember, the last, I believe, 3 seasons, the first place team has not gotten out of their league. So.
But Doug, I think it's the first time in a number of years that we've been covering the Sarnia Bees at this point of the season, seeing that the division playoff teams have already been made, because really St. Thomas is behind. Tilsonburg has no chance whatsoever of making the playoffs. And if the Stars really want to make a run for it, they've got to start now.
The Bees are on a pace tab of finishing 26 and 6, and that would be phenomenal. Even say 24 and 8 in that area, so that'd be a great record.
Oh, tremendous
as
record.
You see Walsh going down for repairs down at either the dressing room or the first aid room.
Yes.
So they're going to bring the face-off outside the Bees line as you look at number 19, Mike Cayley, up from the Steeplejacks.
Well, if you look at last season's record, Doug, the Chatham Maroons finished with 34, 6-2 for 71 points, and that was a phenomenal record that they came up with last year. But still, they didn't win the title.
No, they didn't.
A lot of things can happen.
Well, I talked to Doug Cayley Friday night, and I says, are the Bees peaking too soon? He doesn't think they are.
Actually, I think this team can still improve.
I think they can too, definitely.
Especially tonight, even without Campbell, Stone, and Bonovich. Here's a 2-on-1 with Gardner. Cayley
nice play by Mike Cayley, and Gardner finally gets an assist.
And it makes it 5-1. Cayley with his first goal ever as a junior B hockey player. First game this season.
What a play by Danny Gardner as Mike Cayley. That's a similar goal that Rafoul got, except this time Cayley was on the move, whereas Rafoul was standing on the goalpost. And a rather dejected Dan Ryder. Here comes the goal. Cayley, Gardner was something at one assist.
With the Stars being behind, Doug, they pinched in, got caught on a 2-on-1. They're trying to force things in the Sarnia zone. And every good coach will tell you, once you start doing that, you're going to see a lot of 2-on-1.
Exactly right. Jackson got that other assist, and Sean's played very well. So a goal coming at 11:35, and the Bees now have 5-1, and Simon Stav is back on the ice. That's good to see.
Nice to see him back out there after that tremendous hit he absorbed at the St. Thomas blue line. There's a chance. Terry Adams had to go off a leg. There's another shot. Is it in?
Yes, he's signaling in.
He's signaling a goal.
Yes, sir.
It just barely crossed the line as it went through the legs of Ryder, and the Bees have really opened things up here in the second period.
And that goal coming just 20 seconds after Cayley had gone. I think it's Ian Rand. He was on the doorstep, wait and see, as they're discussing it now. But this line has just been phenomenal. Rand, Simons, and Adams just on a tear as a line. And Ian Rand played very well Tuesday night, and he's playing well again tonight.
And if it is Rand that got that goal, it would be Ian's 13th of the season.
It is Ian Rand.
Simons at the face-off circle, wins the draw back to the point for Schelling. Vince back to Schelling. Ahead. Slides onto the stick of Rod Tails. Stars play give and go with it. But the Stars trailing now 6-1. And this game could be a blowout by things are said and done. Ian Rand now into the corner. Takes a hit from Tails, a little shove, I should say. Behind the net, they try to jam away at it. And it's on the back of the net, I do believe. Yes, it is. And another close chance.
So that's 6. Ranson B's goal ran his 13th from Simons and Adams at 11:55. And both Simons and Adams have added to their point total. Simons now has 28. Adams now has 36. Rand his 28th point. So equal scoring among this line right here. Now they have Gardner, Prudhomme, and Reeve on the forward line.
Everyone waiting to see Gardner get a goal. He's been stagnant lately. They jam away at it. They lock their skates up with Prudhomme, Gardner, Tails.
Well, each line so far has a goal. Graffoul has a pair. Reeve on this line has a goal. And Rand has a goal.
And Reeve's the type of player, Doug, that you expect a lot more offense out of him. He's a tremendous skater. He's got good hands. He can handle the puck. Just that the goals are not, and the assists are not coming.
Exactly right.
But it's not because of a lack of effort.
And we talked about people who solidify this.
Shot by Reeve.
Solidify this team. Dixon certainly been a quiet man out there, and he's played well every game.
Watch him play one-on-one here with number 16. That was Sean Muscat. Played him perfectly, stayed with his man. The puck went into the corner, and that gives a chance for Prudhomme to clear. Perfect textbook hockey. Gardner had to wait for Reeve to get back on side, sends it behind the net. Prudhomme tried to walk out in front, but couldn't do so. Or Hauser has Gardner tied up along the boards. They center it for Dixon, who walked in from the point. Back for Gardner. Gardner will send it across. It hits the leg and bounces onto the stick of number 12, Jeremy Brooks. Bellew back to Brooks into the corner. They center it. Dixon there for the Bees once again to knock it away. Holford can't set up his man. They dump it into the corner, though. Dustin Bellew behind the Bees goal. He'll try to work it out in front. A weak shot off the stick of Holford is wide. Pitcher. Pass went to Britt Walling. They're trying to ball him now into the game. He's seen little action.
I was going to say, he's pretty quiet the second period.
So their own players have taken the shoot on him. Just to see if he's still awake. That's about it. Loosmore behind the net. Loosmore backhands one up the wing for Graffoul. Loosmore gets his own pass again off the boards and down the ice. Go Bees go. Now the chant from the Sarnia faithful. Stars working into the slot. Nice three-way passing play, but it couldn't have been finished off as the puck was broken up. Another penalty coming now. I believe Murray Byers is going to make his way to the penalty box. He was tangled up with Bruno Latanzio in the Bees corner, and so it looks like a power play opportunity for the Stars, who really need a goal here.
They sure do, Fab. Byers off at 14:47. First penalty of this second period. As I mentioned, only 2 apiece in the first period. There's Murray. And the face-off will be to the left of Britt Walling. Oh, the Stars came up empty in their only other power play opportunity. Let's see what happens here.
Waiting for Coleman to get himself positioned properly for the face-off. He does, wins it, gets it back to the point. Crossover for Hauser, he shoots. Got it stopped by Walling. Back for Hauser again. Along the boards for Nadeau. Hauser's got a good shot there. He'll try to work it for him. Teeple back to Tails. Takes a shot into Teeple. Over to Tails again. His quick shot knocked down in front by his own man, Latanzio. These get a chance, and they knock it down the ice. And Doug, we've positioned ourselves right above Skip Cummings, the coach of the Stars, and things not going so well. We have not heard a discouraging word from Skip Cummings yet this evening.
No.
Usually one of the most vocal coaches you find throughout the circuit. Especially if his team's losing. Here's a chance for the Stars, and Latanzio couldn't change direction. Here comes Rafool now with Coleman. Rafool to Coleman, and he's knocked down.
Nice.
Shot is on net.
That was a great pass, too, and Rusty was taken up by Hauser. Good penalty, as Rusty was right in there. And Hauser, I believe, is going to get the gate, or is it going to be Tipo?
Yes,
Oh, it's going to be
Rafool had a
Tipo.
chance to shoot it, but perfectly threw the pass to Coleman. And he had a couple of players dragging him down from behind, and it is Tipo heading to the penalty box.
But Tipo made a good penalty, and Coleman was right in on a beautiful pass from Rafool. And that shows, Fab, I think, just how good this team is. Rafool could have shot, got selfish, and then passed it across, and almost had a goal anyway. Great.
Exactly, Doug.
Yes,
This is
excellent.
a very unselfish team.
Yes, sir.
Each and every one of them out there pulling for each other. No one looking to steal the limelight.
When you start doing that, you will lose hockey games individually.
Exactly.
That's what the team's out there for.
Rand now back to the point for Dixon. Over to Rand. Back to Dixon. Dixon tried to fire it. Here's a breakaway now for Luke Harvey. Luke Harvey in alone. He'll shoot. And a great save by Walling as he went to the short side. And again, Walling is third outstanding save of the game. And he's come up big for the Bees.
Well, it takes only 3 or 4 saves by a goalie, and he's done. He's made 3 already.
Puck goes up high, knocked down by Schelling. It's called for a high stick.
Or is it a penalty coming up?
I believe.
I didn't see the penalty called. Making his way over. And I'm not sure. Did he close the hand on the puck, maybe? We'll have to wait as Ian Rand is coming over. We'll have to wait on that call.
3:15 remaining in the second period. Sarnia leading 6-1. They led.
So Rand's off for high sticking. And St. Thomas will go right back on the power play. They're going to bring the face-off. As you take a look at Ian Rand on the radio screen, fires on the left, only 2 seconds left. Well, I guess it'll be a short power play, won't it? For 2 seconds.
So Kelly out on the ice with Schelling and Vince. Tell you, gets it back for his defenseman, Hauser. As Byers steps back out on the ice, so both teams even as far as manpower is concerned for the next 53 seconds. Tails. His pass goes awry. Kelly over for Adams, shoots right on the save. Ryder had to come out and play that smartly to keep it out.
Here's a shot of Kerry Adams. What a rookie year he's having as he takes his position center ice. We looked at Brett Walling earlier, Fab. Gives the Sarnia goaltending tandem 2 different styles. Walling is the kind of butterfly type goalie. His stock stands up, so the teams really don't know how to defend it really or how to score on it. It's good when you have that kind of style.
It's a nice situation for head coach Rob Menzies to be
Exactly.
Up in Bellew. Couldn't get by Jeff Vitz. And he's been very steady out there this evening. Behind the net, Hauser. Stars will go on the power play the next 15 seconds with their man coming out of the box. Chance for Sean Muscott to shoot it in. He does. Schelling takes a look. Advances it to Cayley. Crossover for Kerry Adams. He proceeds slowly over the line. Through the slot over to Mike Reeve. His quick shot, and he fired a hard one. And it glanced off the glass and out of play.
And there's a souvenir puck as the youngsters chasing that one down. Not sure if anybody got one or not, but 2:01 remaining in this second period. There's a shot at some of the crowd anyway. Youngsters enjoying the game.
fair-sized crowd for a Friday night game.
And Stars are on a short power play.
Very short.
Excuse me, the Bees rather. Oh, I'm right. St. Thomas, that's right.
Holford knocks it down with a glove. Comes over the line. Poke check by Loosemore. Backhanded in by Brooks. Into the corner for Harvey. Harvey. Backhand pass for Teeple. They shoot. Another save by Walling. A great save as he came across the crease. He's looking better and better every time out. 10 seconds left in the power play now. 1:23 in the second period. 6-1, the Bees lead it.
And this is no question certainly been the Bees' period territorially as well as on the score sheet.
Into the corner, Harvey ridden into the boards by Loosemore. Murray Byers now for a chance to clear. Finds an opening and gets it out. Kicked ahead by Byers. He's checked immediately after advancing forward. Gives a chance for Loosemore to send down the ice, but his man had come out of the penalty box, so icing called against the Ranson Bees.
And we're down to 53 seconds left. 5 goals in this second period, and the Bees have taken a 6-1 lead. Now, as you look at the St. Thomas Stars bench, and just to the left there he is, Skip Cummings, as we mentioned, come down from the GM spot to take over the reins of the St. Thomas Stars.
Jackson can't clear. There's a shot from the point. Kicked out by Walling. Behind the net now. They try to jam it in. They do. Teeple found an opening and put it in behind Walling. I believe it went off his stick or skate. Walling looked up into the air in disbelief. Couldn't believe it had gotten in behind them. But Teeple notches St. Thomas's second goal of the evening.
There's Brett Walling is again, perhaps in the first period, a late goal. This one coming at 19:25, and it's 6-2. People unassisted, so it's 6-2 now in favor of the Bees. Maybe perhaps a little bit lax on defense there the last minute. Something you cannot do at any stage of the hockey game, or no matter what the lead is.
Not with this competition available. Jackson ahead for Gardner. Gardner not waiting for the period to end as he tries to force himself in past his defense. Into the corner now. Jackson kicks it ahead. Gardner tried to feed it back to the point. He couldn't. Pass is picked up, and that center broken up by Vince as the period comes to an end. But the Bees open up a 4-goal lead. And after 2 periods of play, Doug, they lead it 6-2.
Yeah, 5 goals by the Bees, 1 by St. Thomas. That last goal, people unassisted at 19:25, just getting the shots now. So the shots on goal in that second period, a little bit closer. 15 for Sarnia for a 2-period total of 23, and by St. Thomas 11 for a 2-period total of 21. But the Bees outscore St. Thomas that period 5-1, and at the end of 2 periods, it is Sarnia 6 and St. Thomas 2.
Community TV6 coverage of the Sarnia Ranson Bees hockey games is being made possible through funding by Ranson Industrial and Safety Supply Limited, 1166 Michener Road, Sarnia.
3 satellite, live coast to coast in Canada. Welcome to the Canadian Home Shopping Club.
Hi, where are you calling from today?
Is being made possible through funding by
Ranson Industrial and Safety Supply Limited, 1166 Michener Road, Sarnia.
Okay, welcome back to third period action. I'm Doug Reynolds along with my colleague Fab Michaels, and certainly Fab, that second period was dominated not only by the Bees on the score but also territorially, and they have a 6-2 lead.
Yes, Doug, as we get things in the way here for the third into the corner, the Stars have possession. They work it out in front, but it was broken up by the defense. There's another quick shot. Rebound is cleared, and it's out over the line, and Walsh for the Stars has possession. He hit hard as he hit a wall with Coleman and Dixon ganging up on him. Who said Rusty Coleman can't hit?
We can hear that one up here.
Dixon on his own side of center dumps it in off the boards. Rafool in quickly after it. Along the boards, he's finally knocked down, and it's cleared away by the Stars.
Fab, even though the Bees have a 4-goal lead, they cannot let up.
They'd like to carry this momentum forward for the rest of this period and into Sunday night's game is a big one, and they'd like to keep things rolling. Into the corner now, loose Moore. Had no other play but to bank it off the boards and down the ice. Went right on to Ryder, who played it. Bad pass in behind. Almost gives the Bees a chance into the corner now. That was Latanzio ahead for Tails. Through the legs of Harvey. Back for Tails again. They misplay it once again along the boards. Prudhomme takes a couple of elbows, and Biggin is going to be called, as now he is tangled up with the Sarnia player. That's Murray Byers, who's got the right hand free, works the cage off, and again has to cover up, but there's a good scrap going, and there's another good right hand by Murray Byers as he works it free for a couple of uppercuts. I don't think Biggin has landed a punch yet.
A pair of sevens having a good battle down there. Oh, sorry, Biggin is 5, sorry.
And now Biggin finally comes back with a couple of rights of his own, a couple of big players out there.
And the linesman Fab trying to get, finally they do. Quick 2-man up. There's Murray Byers. And I believe the original penalty was coming to begin with. So he'll get 2 and 5, and Byers will get 5. And they need some equipment behind. There's Bigin's shoulder pads. Good shot there by your crew. There's his sweater.
Byers had him completely stripped by the time he skated towards his bench.
And there's his headgear. So everybody's doing their fair share to help Bigin pick up his stuff. Penalties coming at 1:45 of this third and final period. Bigin for the Stars and Byers for the Bees.
And Byers only coming in on the defense of his smaller player, Prudhomme, who was roughed up with a pair of elbows from Biggin. And quickly unleashed a couple of wild right hands that caught Biggin unaware. And it was all Byers from then on, with Byers taking that 2-round goal round.
Okay, so what it boils down to, Fab, is just coincidental minor penalties as Biggin gets 2 for elbowing, 5 for fighting in a game, and Byers gets 2 for cross-checking 5 minutes in a game. At 1:45, as you take a look at Luke Harvey, been very steady out there for the St. Thomas Stars on the defense. 6-2. The Ranson Bees out in front, just coming up to the 2-minute mark. Gone in this third period.
So neither team short-handed. Gardner steals the puck. Gardner one-hands it over to Reeve. He shoots. Great save. He fanned on the rebound, but Gardner led Reeve in with a perfect pass.
What strength he showed as he was all tied up by the defenseman and just scooped it across the Reeve and almost had a goal. There's Mike. Oh, that's Rich Schilling. I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. Skating back. Very steady on defense for the Ranson Bees, not only tonight, but in past games.
170-pounder, 5'10", from Westwood, New Jersey. Number 17, a 19-year-old Sarnia Bee.
And Fab, I get the feeling with this Bees club on a 10-game, going on 11-game winning streak, they don't know how to lose. They take each game by game, which is what you have to do, and they don't know what it's like to lose.
And you've got to give credit to the coaching staff, the young coaching staff that's really got them in a proper frame of mind. They take every game one at a time. They're not looking down the schedule at who they're going to be playing in 2 or 3 games. And the opposition knows when it comes to Sarnia Arena that they're really going to have to work to come out with a point or two.
And the Bees' last loss, Fab, was back in London on October 17th, and that's over a month ago. So they, like we mentioned, very, very well. And I'm just wondering if the time comes when they do lose, and I'm sure it will somewhere down the road, they have to accept it and say, hey, guys, start up, let's go, start up again. But right now, they're on a high, as we talked about many times.
It's great to have a high confidence level, but long as you don't get too overconfident.
Exactly right.
Simons now took a tremendous hit in the second period, went off, and came back on towards the end of that period. And he's on there now with Kerry Adams and Ian Rand. In the corner now, they're trying to poke it loose from the skates of Hauser. It slides to Ryder, who pounces on the loose puck at the side of the goal.
There's a shot of the Bees bench. Just see, just out of your picture was Paul Helps giving some instructions. Loosemore coming onto the ice. Face-off will be to the left of Ryder.
We are not even seeing the best of the Ranson Bees with Randy Campbell, Jamie Nabonovich both out. 2 veteran Bee players who mean so much in the scheme of things. But still, they do not look like they're lacking at all with those 2 very talented hockey players out of tonight's lineup. Here's a chance for Hauser. Hauser worked into the corner heavily by Loosemore. Kerry Adams in there to see if he can dig out a loose puck. Hauser gets it back. He's checked by Loosemore. Jeremy Brooks now at the line. It just came out. Called immediately by the official. And a little bit of white speed between the blue line and the puck.
Here's a good shot of Paul Helps. I think they have 2 ingredients. Well, there's many ingredients for a successful team, but I think 2 for the Bees. First of all, they haven't got a rash of injuries. They only have 1 right now, which is Katie, who'll be back in a couple of weeks. And the staff during training camp are very methodical. They gave the rookies lots of ice time, looked at them a long time, and it proves on the ice. So, a great hand goes out to not only the coaching staff, but all the scouts involved. They've put together a well-oiled machine, I guess is the way you can put it.
Yes, because there's a lot of question marks that came out of the Bees camp when it started. The new head coach, a lot of new faces in the lineup, and especially with Nabonovich being gone early in the season, the defense was a total revamp on the blue line. Puck is shot down the ice, an icing call against the Stars of St. Thomas. Doug, how far do you think this team is capable of going?
Well, I think the Ranson Bees have the ingredients. They can go all the way, I think, to not just the Western Junior Bee crown. Of course, I think, I'm not going to say it's a cakewalk, but so far it seems to be. But I also think they can go all the way to the Ontario Championship, which would be a great lift to this area. And of course, something this year too that they didn't have in past years is now an affiliation with, of course, what we all know as the Steeplejacks, and they've got some good products down there. So injuries have to come up. They just go down and say, hey guys, come on up for a couple games.
Exactly. Mike Kelly,
That's
evident
right.
of that.
Yep.
Notching a goal here tonight. Trevor Walsh dumps it into the corner, streaking after it is Mike People, who was injured in the second period, helped to the bench. Now he's okay and back out playing. 15:32 remaining in the third. The Bees lead at 6-2 after 5 second period scores. They've opened up that 4-goal lead. There's a hard shot ripped high off the glass. Pitcher couldn't get around Nadeau. Pass too far ahead for People. Bees chop it back out over the line. Kicked in by Cummings. Poole banks it off the boards, but not out. Pass across, intercepted by Reed. One-on-one. Reed on tails. But McAlpine, having seen Cummings and Trevor Walsh tied up.
And we'll see if they both go. Looks like they are from our vantage point. Yep. Cummings and Walsh. So there will be coincidental minors. And we have played, Fab, exactly 5 minutes as you take a look at Cummings on the left of your screen, Walsh on the right. Walsh has one of the 2 St. Thomas goals. Penalties coming at the 5-minute mark. Probably either high sticking or roughing. We'll wait and see what the call is. And next break, we're going to have our Ranson Bees tickets and TSN giveaway. So stick around for that. It might be yours, but pull your name out.
And Cummings' second appearance in the sin bin. Puck slides down the ice for Alford. He'll wait for his mates to regroup, try to get them going. Now they trail 6-2. Hauser fires it in off the boards for Walling out of his net. Vince takes a rough ride, but these get a chance to send it out and down the ice. Hauser behind his net. Pass somewhere near Lattanzio, so the Bees shoot it right back in again.
So those penalties, Cummings for slashing and Walsh for holding at the 5-minute mark. Okay, our winner in our TSN Bees tickets giveaway is Sean Cotterill of 888 Denmark Street in Sarnia. You are a winner of 2 Ranson Bees tickets and a month's subscription to TSN. In fact, with all those NFL games and NHL games, I think you'll enjoy that. And we'll tell you how you could win just like Sean right after the next stoppage.
Puck in behind the net. Tails ahead for number 16. That was Muscat. A shot by Brooks. Walling stumbled on the play, but it was wide of the goal. Jeff Vince fanned on his first attempted pass. Schelling is hacked at center ice. Off the boards for Schelling. Schelling will shoot. And it's right on. Ryder the save. Banged off the boards. It hit McAlpine, the official. It's still in the zone. Mike Kelly working hard for it. Sent it back to the point. But Schelling had gone away from the boards and allowed an opening for the puck to squeeze through and out over the line. At the Sarnia line now. Shot in by Bellew. Jeff Fitz for the Bees. 13-17 remaining in the third period. The Bees in total control of this game from the onset. There's a quick shot by Prudhomme on the spin around. Brooks now for Bellew. 3-on-2. They work it well, but a pass by Bellew goes into the corner as number 16, that was Muscat, having to go to the corner for it. He fired a pass across. It landed on the back of the net. So the face, look at this.
Came right out of the penalty box.
Right on the penalty box. They were mouthing off at each other.
Yes, they were. So they'll be done for the night.
Cummings and Walsh really going at one another now.
Well, there wasn't too much evidence of this in the first 2 periods. And this led back, as you say, that the earlier 2 minutes that they got. And a good shot right there. Walsh on the left in the green, of course. Walsh with his sweater over his head. Now he's got it back on, and Cummings will sit out the rest of the evening. So they just got out of the box, and now they'll sit the rest of the night in the stands watching.
Well, if you wanted to get out of the game, that's a good way to get out of one. You have a scrap, you're immediately ejected, you're gone for the night.
They didn't wait long. The doors open. And bang, that was it.
They must have made an appointment while they were sitting in the box, because neither one of them looked away from each other as they headed out of the penalty box. They engaged themselves and started wailing.
So, of course, fighting majors and a game. And now, you can be a TSN Bees ticket winner just like Sean Cotterill of Denmark Street. When you come to a game, you buy a program, of course, turn to page 3. You'll see the ad of Sarnia Ranson and the McLean Hunter cable TV ad. You fill it out, your name, address, phone number, tear it out of the book and drop it in our TV6 box downstairs, and we'll pull a name out between the second and third period of each and every game that we do on TV6.
Simon in front for Rand, and it bounced off his stick into the corner. People kicks it loose. Came to Kerry Adams. He tried to feed it in front, but the Stars break it up and headman it out through the middle now. Luke Harvey is poke-checked at the Sarnia blue line. Rand gets it back for the Bees. Had his head up to avoid that check. He'll send it back again for Sean Jackson. Returns it to Ian Rand. Banned on that pass. Picked off by Luke Harvey. He's hooked from behind. And it just slides over the Sarnia line. Simons couldn't get by number 10, Dustin Bellew. Jackson knocks Bellew to the ice. Into the corner for Loosemore, and Nadeau beats him to the puck. Nice move. It's loose in the crease. They bang away at it, and it hit a leg and bounced wide. Here comes Simons. 2-on-2 with Kerry Adams. Simons. Pass led to Ryder, who dished it off to the side. People couldn't continue forward with it as he was checked immediately after receiving the pass. People again gets it along the boards, backhands it down the ice. Both teams making changes now. The Stars send 5 fresh pair of legs out there. That was Henry grabbing his man. Rafool streaks over the line. He's looking for the hat trick. Rebound, and he just about got it on that chance. Tails for Latangel. Stolen by Prudhomme. Quick shot on by Reeve. Bouncing puck. Ryder can't handle it. Prudhomme has it once again in the corner. His favorite spot. Takes a look. Darts into the slot. Weak shot. Rafool shoots. And a tremendous save by Ryder.
And Rafool and number 10 down there, Bellew, were exchanging words. But what a save, as you mentioned, by Ryder as he stuck out the left hand. And he picked it out of the ground. There's your score. Ranson Bees 6, St. Thomas Stars 2, and your Ranson Industrial and Safety Supply Bees Game of the Week. And speaking of the Game of the Week, Fab, our next game will be Tuesday night, December 6th, against these same St. Thomas Stars. 1 week from Tuesday, December the 6th.
Pitcher had a shot blocked off a skate. Intended for the deep slot. There's a shot by Dixon. Right on, and Ryder, taking no chances, holds on for a face-off. It'll again be to his left.
But meanwhile, Fab, the Bees' next home game is 1 week from tonight. That's Friday, December the 2nd, against the London Diamonds. And, of course, that big game coming up this weekend in Chatham.
And the Diamonds slowly moving up in the standings.
They are. They're finally getting their act together.
Quick shot off the blocker of Ryder. Bees keep it in. Luke Harvey now down the right wing. He's on Reeve. Reeve falls down. Harvey puts it into the slot. They shoot. And another great glove hand save by Walling on Latangel.
Oh.
They just can't beat him on the glove hand side.
Sorry, Fab, I said 1 per period. There it is.
Rafool back pass for Reeve. But Walling has this crowd buzzing. Latangel now. He was robbed, as was Nadeau earlier in the game, by the quick hand of Britt Walling. Really strutting his stuff at the Sarnia Arena tonight. Poke check by Cayley. Gardner shoots off the post. He's snake bit. Had him beat. banged her right off the pipe. He's cleared in again.
And Mike Cayley showed good hustle that time, going after that loose puck.
Mike Cayley's looking to stay with the Bees.
Yes, he has. Yes, he sure is.
Picked off by number 10, Bellew. Back to Brooks. Another quick shot again. The glove comes out, and it's picked out of midair.
I think the Stars better change their strategy, Fab. They're not going to beat Britt on the glove side for sure. And the 2 goals they did score, one between the legs and one kind of a squeaker in behind him. And we're down to 19 remaining. There's a look at the Bees, of course, in their home whites. And St. Thomas in their road green.
Stars can't hold it in off the draw. Olford for Muscat. Muscat knocked down. Dustin Bellew begs it off the boards past Jeff Vince. Schilling gets it behind the net. Tries to work it out. He couldn't. And it bounces off Hauser into the Bees bench.
And there's a good shot of Rob Menzies on the left, and in the very top corner, Paul Help. In fact, of course, there's many differences on this team. Of course, the records indicate for themselves, but the Bees have scored twice as many goals, 140, as opposed to 72, and half as many goals given up, 65 as compared to 123. So definitely the Stars having trouble not only defensively, but offensively as well.
There's a shot ripped wide by Brooks. Came all the way down the ice. Olford in behind his own net as he seeks some refuge from Dan Gardner. Olford waiting for his mates to set it up. They don't come back far enough, and this is going to create a problem now with Hauser having to take over. Hauser being hounded by Gardner. Gardner steals the puck from him. It's in Hauser's skate. They still can't poke it loose, and finally the Stars get a chance to clear. They do. 2-on-1 with Brooks and Muscat for Bellew now into the side of the goal. They center it. Big rebound. Another skate save. They still pop away at it, and the glove has got it again.
Well, we can't say enough about Brett Walling, and he certainly has the Stars number tonight as faceoff will come to his left. There you see Jackson, who has an assist tonight, and he was robbed on a goal at the rink as well.
And Doug, this has really got to be demoralizing for the Stars.
No question.
They haven't played that bad a game. They had a letdown midway through the second period that allowed the Bees. Here's another chance. They just shot it wide. People let that one go.
And you saw the size before that faceoff, the big mitt that he uses. No wonder they can't get it by him.
Puck flies all the way to Ryder. Nadeau across for Teeple. Teeple held up, grabbed by Loosemore as he's ridden off the puck. Pass hits Kerry Adams in the back of the legs. Loosemore continues on though. Nice bit of stick handling, drops it for Simons. Quick shot, hit a skate, never did get through. Luke Harvey dances out to the blue line with it. Cross center ice, fires it into the corner. Jackson for the Bees, the first one there for Prudhomme. Prudhomme very deft at avoiding the check and getting it out of the zone as the Bees headman it up the ice now. Gary Adams, backhand, loose puck. Still loose for Gary Sidham. There's a barrage of players. They shoot. And Sean Jackson had it hit a player as he tried to stuff it in. The guy is down. That is number 6, Ron Tales.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, whether he took a shot or was checked. But Jackson had a chance there, and Chickarino played goaltender there as the goalie Ryder was out with 6:55 remaining. There's a good shot right there of Hale. And he's not really making too much movement, man.
I don't believe he was involved with the puck on the play. He was at the opposite side of the goal. The second-year player still down, face towards the ice.
All right, Pat, well, we have a minute in the action here. Let's talk about the Grey Cup coming up this weekend. BC against Winnipeg. The first time in the 76-year history there's been two Western teams represented.
Yes, it should make for an interesting Grey Cup, especially played in Ottawa's Lansdale Park.
It'll be cold. But I think it'll be the first time this year that Ottawa's had a sellout. They're expecting, I guess, some 20,000 plus.
Even though the Grey Cup comes early in the football season compared to the NFL, it's still a nice event that takes place in Canada. It really unifies all the football fans and usually turns out to be quite a contest.
We were talking before the period. We both picked BC, but I think Winnipeg could be a sleeper, but I think I'll pick BC.
There's a few veteran football players from the 84 powerhouse team of the Blue Bombers that only lost 3 games in total in 1984, and they would like nothing more than to come up with another Grey Cup ring to end their careers.
I think Dunnigan will provide the difference, I think.
Yes. But Mr. Salisbury,
that's not...
he can't beat you with his arm. He can certainly outrun you. Puck is off the glass, shot out.
And he had quite a job to fill the shoes of Roy DeWalt. Just didn't make it with Winnipeg, and
yes, Roy DeWalt could have been in this game, but never did pan out in Winnipeg.
Ended up in Ottawa, so could be a good Grey Cup.
Ottawa's a graveyard.
As you saw, some of the fans trying to get that puck, enjoying the game. You got to enjoy the game, Fab, at home when your home team is winning, of course, and they have.
Yes, the fans haven't been too boisterous.
They've lost, I believe, only once on home ice.
Can you remember the 3 games that they did lose? Here comes Rand now as he walks into the slot. Picked off by Hauser. 6:28 remaining in the third period. The Bees have a 4-goal lead. Rand tried to hit Rafoul. They're trying to get Sammy set up for his third goal. That would give him the hat trick. Hauser, having none of that, comes to center, fires it into the Bees zone. It's off the boards. Dustin Bellew centers it. Quick shot, they score! Latanzio on a second effort puts it past, and Rob Menzies, the Bees coach, is upset. He didn't like that play at all.
No, he sure didn't, and Latanzio, I believe, got credit for that goal at 13:56.
The Sarnia defenseman, I believe it was Don Dixon, that got crossed up. He went to the wrong side of the goal. It took some time for him to get over to the star player, but by that time he had centered it. Latanzio, Johnny on the spot, had a couple of whacks at it, and he put it in on the second try.
So Latanzio from Henry and Nando at 13:56, and it's now 6-3.
Bees fire it in. There's a hit by Citaroni on Rafoul. Rafoul goes down in a heap with number 16 Muscat. Off the boards for Brooks. Brooks, fighting desperately, gets a stick on it and sends it to center. Here's a chance for Luke Harvey. And he was bodied off the puck. He gets it back again behind the net, knocked down by Jeff Vince. Around the boards for Sammy Rafoul. Rafoul across the red line, over the blue line. We're going to have a scrap deep in the Sarnia zone with Rand now tangled up with Brooks. Jeremy Brooks, number 12. Rand tries to get his right hand free.
And they were taunting each other because the play was coming down to the St. Thomas end. And finally, the linesmen are trying to get in. Rand, I think this is going to come to an end. Our third Fighting Major, Fab, in this game, all in this third period. So Ian Rand and Jeremy Brooks. There's Brooks right there.
A couple of big boys.
Yes, sir. Well, Fab, the only Bees home loss came at the hands of the Chatham Micmacs. And then they lost on the road to Strathroy and on the road in London.
What a memory. Now, can you remember all the teams they've beaten?
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, let's see. Everybody at least once. Well, maybe twice. They got 13 wins.
And surprisingly enough, an arena that they've had difficulty over the years, really coming out with a couple of points, or even a tie for that matter, is down in Riverside, where the Bulldogs are at home. Twice they've gone down to Windsor, and twice they've come away with a victory. So they've seemed to turn that little jinx that they've been having on their backs for the past few years around, and
they're 4 for 4 against the Lincolns.
And
that is a surprise.
That is a surprise.
And believe it or not, Fab, this is halfway through. This is only the Stars and the Bees' second meeting of the season.
They'll meet 4 more times between now and the rest of the season. Puck is shot into the corner. Teeple hit along the boards, kick loose for Luke Harvey. There's a quick shot as Nadeau was knocked down. Cayley across for Prudhomme. Prudhomme turns around, knocked off the puck. Gardner knocks Harvey off the disc. Harvey gets it back again at the side of his own goal. Gardner watching him for Teeple. Banks it off the boards. Not out though. Kept in by Schelling. There's a quick shot. And it was blocked as he let it go, so it just rolled to St. Thomas defenseman, and he just shot it down the ice where Walling jumps on top of it with 4:11 remaining.
Don't forget now, the Bees' next home game is 1 week from tonight. That's December the 2nd. As you take a look at Mike Teeple against the London Diamonds, the Bees' next game is Sunday in Chatham, and by all means, if you've got nothing to do Sunday night at 7:30, go down to the Chatham Arena and cheer the Bees on. You'll be in for a great game, I'm sure.
The last game we covered down there, I was not available, but Doug, it was a barnstormer.
Yep. We had a penalty shot, Bergeron scored. It was just a super game. It was.
He's just managed to slide it out over their own blue line. Stars dump it right back in again. We are under 4 minutes to play. Into the corner, Reeve has Latanzio all tied up. That gives a chance for Jackson to move it out. He does, over to the wing for Kerry Adams. Sends Gary Simons on his way. He lifts it into the corner. He's on a forward line with Reeve on his right, Adams on his left. Adams intercepts that pass into the corner, being guarded by Olford. Kicks it loose, soccer style, behind the net. Hauser at the side of his goal had it go through the crease, and Ryder jumps on it, holds on, and will have a face-off to his right.
Well, a brief scoring summary. The first period ended 1-1, goals by Cummings and Walsh, and then the Bees popped in 5 in the second period by Reeve, 2 by Rafoul, 1 by Rand, 1 by Cayley, and Teeple replied for St. Thomas, and only 1 goal so far in this third period, a goal by Latanzio at 13:56. That's where we are, 6-3.
Hauser now finds an opening, sends it through the Sarnia players into the zone. Hauser rifles it back in from the point. Dustin Bellew knocked down. That was James Loosemore picking up the puck. Over to Prudhomme. Prudhomme fending off the check from Latanzio. Prudhomme on the seat of his pants gets it across into the corner for Loosemore, who's up on the forward line. They've alternated Loosemore and Jackson on the forward line. Back to Jackson at the point. He keeps it in. Had a high shot go off the glass. Loosemore being hooked from behind. Rafoul knocks it down with a glove. A crossover for Prudhomme. Prudhomme spun around by Latanzio. And the Stars have it. 2:31 remaining in the game. Prudhomme runs into Dave Henry. Jackson hits Prudhomme in the skates with it. Prudhomme with Rafoul. Prudhomme shoots right on. Save. Rebound. And it's cleared away. The captain tails. Check from behind. Dixon ahead for Reeve. Off the boards. 2 Oldford. Picked off by Cayley. He's got a chance. Rafoul. Back to Cayley. Stars.
What a play by Cayley and Rafoul. And again, Fab, we talked about the unselfishness. Again, Rafoul could have played, could have shot the puck and he passed it across, and he did it earlier in the game.
He had every reason in the world to look for his third goal of the night, but the unselfishness of the young 18-year-old sent it across to the newcomer Mike Cayley, and he notches his second of the evening. Sarnia 7 and St. Thomas 3.
So Rafool will certainly get one assist. We'll see if he gets any more. Yeah, only Sammy Rafool gets the assist.
Great play by Sammy Rafool.
And the Bees
He's not a team player.
Yeah. The Bees are well in command now.
Can't think of anybody on the ice tonight that's really been more unselfish than Sam Rafool.
But again, that's part of the winning that we've talked about earlier.
Shot right on, held by Ryder momentarily, dishes it off to Muscat. Muscat gets a return pass from Teeple. Muscat across the Sarnia blue line, puts the binders on, has to hold up, back to the point. Chittaroni shot, made it through, Walling the save, knocked it loose. Here's a chance for Teeple. Teeple across for Nadeau, and he couldn't get the shot off. Down the ice it goes, and icing.
And a good example of unselfishness, Fab, Rick Tockett of the Flyers was saying why they're in a slump, and the reason was too many individual efforts. And that's one extreme to the other right there. We're down to 109 now. That goal, Cayley, his second from Rafool at 18:01. Shots on goal this period, 11-8 in the Bees' favor.
There's a look at our crowd at the Sarnia Arena here tonight on a beautiful Friday evening. Super day here in southwestern Ontario.
As we pan the crowd, a good crowd on hand. That's certainly not as many as Tuesday night, which was 2,700. I'd say probably maybe 800 or 900 tonight. Still a good crowd for a Friday night.
Good average. 1 minute left to play in the hockey game. Rafool now with a chance. Will he shoot it this time? No, he centers it for Simon. Simon's backhand shot saved by Ryder. Prudhomme back for the Bees. Passes it to Schelling. Schelling bodied hard. Still manages to slide it ahead for Prudhomme. Schelling helps him out by sending it to the line the rest of the way. Hauser slowly starting out for the Stars with only 30 seconds left in the game. For Muscat. Muscat waits for his winger to get himself in the position. Couldn't hit him with the pass, though. Simons all tangled up with his man. 13 seconds left in the game, and it doesn't look like Sammy's going to get another chance.
It's not that he didn't have a chance, that's for sure.
There's a shot right on by Nadeau. 4 seconds left. The Bees are going to win this one handily as it comes to an end. The Stars go down to defeat for the 17th time in 20 games. So the Bees, with a strong second period, win tonight's game by a score of 6-2. 7-3, excuse me. Doug will have the final wrap-up for you in a moment.
Okay, shots on goal in that final period by Sarnia 13 for a game total of 37, and by St. Thomas 9 for a game total of 30. Fab, our three-star selections, I don't think were really that difficult. Now, our first star, certainly, I'm giving to Brett Walling. He gave up 3 goals, but certainly 4 or 5 tremendous saves. Sammy Rafool, 2 goals, 1 assist, and certainly a chance for 2 or 3 more. And finally, I thought the quiet man on the Bees defense, Don Dixon, 3rd star. So there you are, Britt Walling, Sammy Rafool, and Don Dixon, your 3 stars tonight. And we talked about the domination of the Bees. First period was pretty even, but after that, there was no contest.
Well, this game was a perfect exhibition of why the Bees are in first place overall, leading the league with 36 points now, and why the Stars are just trying to see if they can regroup and possibly make a run for that last and final playoff spot. And after what we witnessed here tonight, Doug, hopefully by the next game that we're going to be telecasting to get things straightened around and come in with a little more effort.
All right, Fab, thank you very much. Our next game will be December the 6th. That's a week from Tuesday against the same St. Thomas Stars. So that'll do it for tonight's game. We want to thank you for watching. For my colleague Fab Michaels and our entire TV6 crew, I'm Doug Reynolds, bidding you a very pleasant good evening from the Sarnia Arena. Your final score once again, the Sarnia Ranson Bees 7 and the St. Thomas Stars
3. Good night, everybody.